This video is going to be about the Cyber Dragon archetype. Let's going to start with the main card of the deck, Cyber Dragon. You can special summon it from your hand as long as your opponent controls a monster. And, well, you control none. It's a 2000 type point monster. It does exactly what it sounds like. You summon it to your field, and it can hit stuff. Moving on, Cyber Toon Dragon. It's a Cyber Dragon and has toon effects. And the toon effects, I can't go over right now, they're very complicated. Neutron Star, I'm gonna go, is considered to be a Cyber Dragon while on the field or the graveyard. You can discard one other monster to special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal special, you can target one machine monster with 1200 attack or defense in your graveyard to special summon it. Also, you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except machine monsters. 1200 Cyber Dragon. It's considered to be Cyber Dragon in the field, so for Fusion Summon, Xyz Summoning, Link Summoning, if your card effects need Cyber Dragon, this can handle it. And it's easy to summon. You don't need normal summon it, you can just special summon itself, and then bring back what you discarded. Then Hertz. Hertz is treated as Cyber Dragon while in the field in the graveyard. You're going to see that a lot. You can only use one of the following effects, and you can use one of the following effects of this thing once per turn, and only once a turn. So in other words, they share a hard once per turn. If you use the first, you can't use the second. If you use the second, you can't use the first. The first one of the two it can use is if this card is special summoned, you can make this card's level become 5 until the end of the turn. Also, you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except machines. If you're only machine lock, that doesn't matter. Or instead of that, you can, if this card is in the graveyard, you can add one other Cyber Dragon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Don't forget, all of these fake Cyber Dragons are considered to be Cyber Dragon while in the graveyard. Next up, Cyber Dragon Core. It is the core of your deck after all. Again, Cyber Dragon in the field and grave. If this card is normal, you can add a Cyber Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. If your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one Cyber Dragon from your deck. Has to be original Cyber Dragon though. It cannot be any of the ones that are Cyber Dragon while on the field or graveyard because they're not Cyber Dragon in the deck. Then Proto Cyber Dragon is, well, its name is considered to be Cyber Dragon on the field. So it's just worse. It's the original version, but it's just worse. And by original, I mean original of the fake Cyber Dragons. Then Dry, which is 2, even though it's a level 4 monster. Cyber Dragon on the field grave. When this card is normal summoned, you can make all Cyber Dragons you control become 5. And remember, because everything's fake Cyber Dragons, they can all just become level 5 for Xyz summoning. You can't special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except machines, of course. If this card is banished, you can target one Cyber Dragon you control. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn. Not bad. It helps with Xyz summoning and good open protection. Then Cyber Dragon Dry, which is, I think, 3? Yes, that's, even though it's a level 4 monster. Cyber Dragon while field grave, you can reveal one spell in your hand. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon until the end of the turn. What? Okay. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 3 in attack until the end of the damage step only. I don't get the, now, I'm gonna be clear, I don't get the point of that first effect. If it can be considered Cyber Dragon until the end phase, but it's already considered to be Cyber Dragon. Oh, I lied. This card is not considered to be Cyber Dragon while on the field. So it has an effect just to make it so it's almost as good as the others. Wow, I completely missed that when I went over this on my own. Then Cyber Dragon Vare, which is finally a level 4 monster, because Vare is 4. It's Cyber Dragon while in the field and grave. If it's normal special, Cyber Dragons, except during the damage step, you can summon this card from your hand. in defense. So, and each Cyber Dragon you control gains 500 attack defense. So what it does is it just, you summon a monster, you summon another monster, and everything gets bigger. Now, one I didn't know even existed before is Armed Cyber Dragon. You can equip it or unequip it from a Cyber Dragon to Cyber Dragon fusion, and while it's equipped to a monster, you can get rid of 1,000 attack from the equipped monster to destroy any other card in the field. Well, face-up monster, anyway. And if the monster this is equipped to would be destroyed by battle card effect, you can destroy this instead, which does not reset the attack, by the way. Now it's time to get into the EXC's monsters. I probably should have done Fusion first. Well, too late now. Let's start with Nova. It takes 2 of 5 machine monsters, once per turn. Level 5 machines, a Cyber Dragon. And allow our cards to make our other monsters level 5. Once per turn, you can dispatch 1 material from this card, then target 1 Cyber Dragon in the graveyard. Special summon that target. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 banished Cyber Dragon in... You can banish 1 Cyber Dragon from your hand or face up from your monster zone. This card gains 2,001 attack until the end of the turn. If this card in the owner's possession is sent to the graveyard by opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 machine fusion monster from your extra deck. And Infinity, you can use Cyber Dragon Nova to summon this, transferring its materials to this card. So this can have 3 materials once per turn. Oh, and you can normally just summon it by 3 level 6 monsters, have to be machines. But once per turn, you can target a face-up attack decision monster in the field. It's attach it to this card as material. It can be your opponent's monster, it can be your monster, doesn't matter. You can just eat anything. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can dispatch 1 material from this card, negate it. So, you have a once per turn, get rid of any monster in the field, and a once per turn, negate. Not bad. Now, into the Link monster, which is a Link 2, requiring machine monsters, including a Cyber Dragon. This card's name is Cyber Dragon on the field and grave. During each battle phase, if this card has not destroyed an attack monster quick effect, you can target 1 machine monster you control with 2,100 or more attack. For this turn, that monster gains 2,100 attack. Also, neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this monster. So what it does is it's a wall, and you can make it a big beater, but it won't do any damage. Now into the fusions. What did you think I was going to start with? End? No. Cyber Twin takes 2 Cyber Dragons, and a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above materials. If this card has just can attack twice, that's it. Makes sense, has 2 heads. So you think a monster that with 3 heads, like Cyber End Dragon, with 4,000 attack, and that takes 3 Cyber Dragons, has 3 heads, and the only thing it does is piercing. Now, similar to Cyber Toon Dragon, we do have Malefic Cyber End Dragon, but this is complicated. So just remember, it exists. Cybertech Fortress Dragon. Takes a Cyber Dragon and machine monster. Can't be used as fusion material. Must be special summoned from the extra deck by sending the above cards from either field to the graveyard. The original attack of this card becomes 1,000 multiplied by the number of materials you summon it. This card, this one card, entirely makes any machine deck impossible, sort of, to become meta. Because if your opponent goes first, they get a massive board. They have 5 monsters in their monster zone, and both of the extra monster zones taken. You can just special summon a Cyber Dragon, and then immediately take all of their monsters into your Fortress Dragon. This, I heard a quote, and it was, Cyber Dragon's worst enemy is itself. And yeah, what other deck has an ability that just shuts down every machine monster possible? Now, there is Cybertech Mega Fleet Dragon, which is similar. takes a Cyber Dragon, and one or more monsters in the extra monster zone can't be used as fusion material, must be special summoned from the extra by sending the above materials from either side of the field to the graveyard. It gains 1,200 attack for every card used in its summon. At most, you're getting what? 3,600? This guy can get 5, 6, 7, 8,000 attack. Now, Cyber Tech Over Dragon. If this thing enters the field, the game is over. What? It sounds like something you would hear in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. There's a Cyber Dragon plus a machine monster must be fusion summoned. If this card is fusion summoned, you can send all other cards you control to the graveyard. You send all the cards you control to the graveyard? Wow, that's an amazing way to start a card. It's the original attack of this card. Each becomes equal to the number of fusion materials times 8. This also only 8. Wow, Cyber Tech Fortress Dragon gains 1,000. This card can attack your opponent's monsters a number of times each battle phase equal to the number of fusion materials used for its summon. Massive attack, massive amount of attacks. Unfortunately, you have to get rid of your entire field when this thing's summoned. Unlike the next monster, which is Cyber Tech Rampage Dragon, which takes 2 or more Cyber Dragons, must be fusion summoned by this. If you summon this card, must be done with the above materials. When this... Sorry about that, my throat was acting up. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target a small trap card on the field. Up to the number of materials used for its summon, destroy them. So, you summon minimum, it's to get rid of 2 of your opponent's small trap cards. Fun. Unless they're playing, like, I don't know, what is it called again? Ancient Cure? But if they're playing Ancient Cure, you can just fortress them away. Once per turn, you can send up to 2 light machine monsters from your deck to the graveyard. And if you do, each monster sent to the graveyard, this card gains an additional attack this battle phase. Yay! Get 3 attacks on a 2100 monster. Yeah, gets rid of all your opponent's power trap cards. However, it gains an additional attack. We do also have Cyber Eternity Dragon, which I swear did not exist the last time I checked. You can, but like apparently it did. It was from 2018. Gonna take a Cyber Dragon plus 2 machine monsters. If you have a machine fusion monster in graveyard, your opponent can't target this card with card effects. Also, it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. It's a 2800, so probably won't be destroyed by battle too easily. And 4,000 defense. Not going anywhere. If this fusion summon card you control is sent to the graveyard, it can't be sent to the graveyard by its first effects, and now it needs to be sent to the graveyard. By an opponent's card, somehow, you can special summon 1 Cyber Dragon card from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You manage this card from your graveyard. This turn, your opponent can't target fusion monsters you control with card effects. Also, they can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. This is one of those cards that needs to be in the graveyard to use its effects. However, it has effects to prevent it from going to the graveyard. Now let's go into the spells. Normal spell, Cyber, Recycling, whatever it's called. Get summon a Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard. It can't be destroyed by card effects. Evolution Blast lets you get rid of one of your Cyber Dragons to summon... Oh, never mind. This is a completely different card than I thought it was. You can, if you control Cyber Dragon, you can destroy 1 of your opponent's cards, but you can't attack with Cyber Dragon this turn. Now, Cyber Emergency. I swear I've seen this more times in, what is it called? Ritual anything, because of Metaltron? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. You can add a light machine monster that can't be normal sunshine set, or a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. If you activated this card, in its owner's possession was negated by your opponent's card effect, you can send it to the graveyard. You can discard one card, add this card to your hand. You can only activate one of them per turn. So if your opponent negates it, you can just get it back. Now, Cyber Recycling Plant is a normal spell. It sounds much more like a continuous spell. If a Cyber Dragon is sent to the graveyard, you can activate one of these effects. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in your graveyard, at the activation, you can activate both of these effects in sequence. You can only activate one of these per turn. You can either add a Light Machine monster in your deck to your hand, or target a Light Machine in your graveyard, shuffle into the deck. You can just do both if you want to. Now, Photon Generator Unit. You could get rid of 2 of your Cyber Dragons to summon Cyber Laser Dragon, which doesn't do much except has to be summoned by the Photon unit. And once per turn, you can destroy one monster with attack or defense that is higher than this card. So something higher than 2,400, you can get rid of it. And next, I normally do like to keep all of the monsters together, but sometimes I had to put it right after the Photon Generator unit because it just made sense. Now, Cyber Load Fusion. Why does all these cards have to be so long? Well, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists Cyber Dragon monsters as material by shuffling the fusion materials listed from your field and or face-up banished cards. But monsters you control can't attack for the rest of the turn, except fusion monsters. You're going to activate one of these per turn. This is how you're going to summon stuff like your Cyber Tech Fortress? No. Your Cyber Tech Rampage Dragon. You just put everything back from your banished pile into your deck, and now you get a monster. You pretty much don't lose any resources if you do it right. Now, Super Strident Blast. In the anime, the Zane, when he would attack with his Cyber Dragon, it would be called Strident Blast. But if he attacked with his Cyber End Dragon, it would be Super Strident Blast. This is the equip spell that can only be equipped to a machine fusion monster. Your opponent can't activate effects card or effects during the battle phase. Amazing way to start a card. At the end of the damage step, if the equipped monster attacked an opponent's monster, you can banish once Cyber monster from the graveyard. The equipped monster can attack an opponent's monster again in a row. You can only use your other monsters can attack their turn. You activate that. So throw that onto your Cyber End, and now it's a double attacking monster that your opponent can't activate anything to stop. Amazing. Now let's go into the traps. Cyber Tech Reincarnation. Tribute 1 Cyber Dragon, special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that lists Cyber Dragon as material, but it can't attack directly and destroy during the end phase of the turn. You're gonna activate one of these per turn. That sounds like such an anime card. It would be like Zane, he's there, he's on the last ropes, and he just needs to get his last monster out, but he doesn't have enough attack. But he has this on his field. He activates it, gets rid of his monster, summons out his End Dragon, and because his opponent actually controls a monster, he attacks. His opponent would probably say something like, "Well, your monster is going to be destroyed during the end phase," but it doesn't matter because my monster will end you now. I've been watching the Yu-Gi-Oh anime too much again. Cyber Tech Overflow. Banish Cyber Dragons with different levels from your hand, face-up, field, and or graveyard. Then destroy equal number of cards your opponent controls. If this card on the field is destroyed by card effect, you can add 1 Cyber Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. You can activate one of these per turn. So, you get to get rid of a whole bunch of your opponent's cards. If everyone gets rid of this, meaning if you it's face down for a turn, your opponent gets rid of it, you can just get out more resources. Now, attack for Effector, you need to get rid of your Cyber Dragons to summon Cyber Barrier Dragon. And what Cyber Barrier Dragon does is stops your opponent from attacking once per turn. but it has to be an attack. If it could be in defense mode, it would be a 2,800 wall that can stop your opponent from attacking once per turn. Meaning, if your opponent doesn't have too many monsters above, it would be fine. But no, it sucks. Now, cybernetic work is a continuous. I thought for a second it said normal. You can destroy this card during the third standby phase after activation. Once per turn, if a cyber dragon is on the field, you can banish one light machine monster from your deck. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon as many of your banished light machine monsters as possible. And if you do, destroy all spell and trap cards you control. Monsters that were summoned by this effect can't activate their effects. Whew. So you get rid of it. Pretty much just it's what was that card called? Fusion deployment? No, something like that. It lets you 1 second. Dimension fusion. It's a worse dimension fusion. It negates everything. It pretty much it's only going to be used for you to summon a whole bunch of your cards, just so you can fusion summon them, link summon, XC summon, maybe synchro summon. Battle Wasp has a card that does this but better. Battle Wasp. And time for the last card in the archetype. Cyber Dragon Hidden Technology. Has everyone looked at this card art? Those are not Cyber Dragons. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send to the graveyard one Cyber Dragon you control, or one fusion monster that lists Cyber Dragon as material. Then target that attacking monster is destroyed? Really? That's all this does? Well, this archetype is something. I think the last time it got support was 2018. Which, if you don't know, is not good. The deck is slow from my own experience with the deck. It can't really hold up at all to modern game. And from what I recently learned from some NBT videos is Snake Eye is top tier right now. No idea why. No idea what they do, really. All I know is apparently they're good, and I don't think this can even come close. It can do a bunch of attacks, a bunch of damage, but that's about it. And it has some consistency tools, but not enough consistency tools to even come close to tier play. Not even Rogue. Well, that'll be it for this video. Make sure you tap the subscribe button. And you're only missing one piece of Exodia. You might get it right now. Oh, that's not it. That's Chicken Game, which might get you into another draw next turn.